The Mandalorian and Grogu return to go on an adventure to return his honor as a Mandalorian. Hello, entertainment enthusiasts. This is Ray, and this is the Fandom Realm, and today I am going to review Season 3, Episode 1 of The Mandalorian. As always, spoilers abound, so be aware. And I've just got to tell you, thank God, Mandalorian is back, Grogu is back. We've been waiting for far too long, Disney. It's been almost 2 years since The Mandalorian and the end of season number 2. We did get to see, of course, a couple episodes with The Mandalorian in the Boba Fett series, but with that, of course, we got to see Grogu train some with Luke Skywalker and then make the choice to return to the Mandalorian. So, with all that, we now get to continue the adventures of the Mandalorian and Grogu and see what comes next for them. So, let's take a look. And just to remind you really quick, the last actual episode of The Mandalorian is when Luke Skywalker rescued the group on board Gideon's ship and took Grogu with him. So this is probably the armor we're getting to see here. And she is working on a mask, it looks like. I was wondering how they made masks. It's a nice small mask. Of course, when you first started this episode, you thought this was a flashback, but it turns out not to be.
And the names of the ancestors.
I swear on my name and the names of the
Why does he have to stand in the water, though?
and the words of the creed shall be forever forged in my heart.
This is the way.
With this, I still don't completely understand the helmet idea here and what is meant by never taking it off. I thought they had explained it before, but I'm still in the blue.
From this moment on, I shall never...
Whoops, something's gonna happen. Now that's scary. I'll be honest, that is just scary. That is a big old crocodile dinosaur something. Hey, they remembered they could fly. This thing must have really tough skin because they aren't doing anything to it. Not sure what they thought they were getting out of this. And I just had chills up my spine when this happened. It's just a wonderful feeling. And we get that Mandalorian music, and we get Baby Yoda coming up in his little bubble area there. And I'm going to tell you, it gave me chills after that battle with the Mandalorian coming in with his music, him coming in and saving the day from the ceremony they were doing there. And it's just good to have the Mandalorian back. After so much Star Wars, I actually had a smile on my face in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the actual show, which I really didn't in any of the other Star Wars shows that were out there. So I'm extremely happy to have the Mandalorian back, just to have that smile and know, we're going to have fun. It's Star Wars. The Mandalorian is what Star Wars should be, not some of this other stuff that we've gotten. Okay, you get space battles, you get the Force, you get laughs, you get seriousness, you get all kinds of things into one. And to me, that's Star Wars. So he's still in trouble.
Free will.
sort of obsessive about that.
Possible. The destruction of our homeworld.
But is it really? I mean, seriously, has anybody been to Mandalore to see if it is actually still livable, if it has been destroyed? It doesn't seem like it.
Mandalore's entire surface has been crystallized by fusion rays.
If I visit the planet and I can bring you proof that I have bathed in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore.
So he's still trying to become a Mandalorian again.
This is the way.
And of course, she is going to confirm that if he does bathe in those stupid waters, that he will no longer be dishonored. I wonder why she looked at Grogu when she was sort of getting ready to respond to that. So this is a very short scene that I really loved, especially seeing those space whales. You've got to think that is going to help bring us to the Ahsoka series coming on later this year, it looks like.
Welcome to Navarro, independent trade anchor and outer rim hyperlane port.
So we're returning to Navarro. Things are looking really good here.
A lot has changed around here.
All kinds of people, trade, commerce going on. Everybody looks happy.
Do you remember your old friend?
Oh, IG. Self-destructed.
Mando!
Oh, Carl Weathers. Gotta love him.
By the hot springs. You and the little one, you can settle down, you can hang up your blaster.
Gotta absolutely love that outfit he's in, too.
Had completed your mission, but you're still running around here with the same little critter.
Baby Yoda using the Force, apparently, to turn that chair is crazy.
I removed my helmet, and now I'm an apostate.
So, I love this entire little series here with him getting back to Navarro and basically being questioned, why are you here? Why do you still have Grogu, Baby Yoda? And him explaining he took his helmet off and now he's having to try to fix that.
But it's just that there's someone here to see you. It can wait. But it's pirates!
Okay,
Come on, Vane. That'll be enough.
we got some conflict getting ready to go on here.
Let's continue this conversation back in my office. This is
I mean, why do they think they could get in the school and drink?
King Gorian Shard's name is familiar to all in this sector.
Well, it's the first time anybody here has heard it, but... Okay, he's still a gunslinger. That's awesome. So let's leave one to go back and tell everybody.
After she brought in Moff Gideon, she was recruited by Special Forces.
Okay, lots going on there. We basically have Mandalorian going down to help clean things up.
I need him back.
And then he wants IG back.
Pretty self-destructed.
I need a droid I can trust to help me explore.
He feels like he can trust him, so he wants to put him back together. Nice little scene there, trying to put him back together. And then, whoops, he remembers what he was built for. I didn't realize he was quite that hard to kill to start with. Oh, Babu Freak. I love them. I love this little race. They are something else.
Stan, do you speak Huttese?
Mando, he said he can't fix it. said they don't make them anymore. They're very hard to find.
I got it.
So this is probably going to be part of this whole thing, going and going to get the pieces.
Sorry about
All right, so of course, I mean, we basically see part of what this season is probably going to be about, is at least the first part, going and finding the pieces to put the IG unit back. And then it seems to me we're probably heading towards Mandalore, probably the last part of the season, in order to regain his honor. So he'll find out whether it's okay or not.
It's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. Use your enemy proximity warning indicator. Hang on, kid, we got pirates.
I was a little surprised at this.
We're Pirate King Gorian Shard's men. Now you'll answer to him.
I wasn't that sure that we would see a battle this soon because of what happened. But man, his ship is so awesome going through that asteroid field. Of course, the pirates aren't going to win. But we get to see them all get blown up, which is awesome. Okay. He led us right to the Pirate King himself.
Up where you are, Mandalorian. You're outgunned.
Could they make him look a little more like Swamp Thing? Okay, great battle here. It's not Star Wars without some war going on, especially some fighter battles. And so I really enjoyed that section. Plus, our Swamp Thing pirate, I thought it was fitting.
It's another planet in the Mandalorian system.
So we get to see a Mandalorian castle. Mando arrives. No security or anything. I really like they got Baby Yoda's hover chair back.
Is the stolen fleet?
Making their way through the galaxy.
So you gave up your designs to retake Mandalore?
Wow. Things just have gone bad for her.
The Watch and all the factions that came before fractured and shattered our people.
I mean, where's the rest of the people she was traveling with? She's got to have some guards and things like that.
Going to Mandalore, so that I may bathe in the living waters and be...
They're beneath the Civic Center in the city of Sundari.
So she knows where he needs to go.
Goodbye, Dinjarin.
Okay, I'm not real sure I like that response there at the end by Bo-Katan and sort of what's going on there. But with that, I'm going to tell you that was a very short episode, and I'm going to throw some thoughts and reactions out there right now. But this is not going to be a very long episode because the actual footage was only, under a half hour? And to me, that's the first thing I'm going to mention is I'm very disappointed in Disney and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for keeping us waiting almost 2 years on the next part of The Mandalorian. You know, they're only doing 8-episode seasons, and almost all of those episodes are between 30 and 45 minutes of actual footage. And they have really kept us waiting for this, and I don't think that's fair. And I'm concerned that unless you are just the most ardent fans, some people are going to basically forget about it. I mean, you can't really forget about Baby Yoda, but still, is everything going to be as exciting 2 years later? There are other series out there that have done things where they've had big gaps between seasons and people just go elsewhere because they want to see other things. Now, hopefully Grogu, Baby Yoda, what they're setting up for the future, hopefully all of that is going to bring everyone back. But I really think they need to respect the fans more and have a more consistent release schedule. I mean, they do have other things they need to get out, And, we want to see all that stuff too. And I think The Mandalorian is setting a lot of that up. And so we need to get it out here. Now, the second thing here, the other thing here is not necessarily to do with the episode, but the other thing here is how much time has actually gone by. I saw something on a news feed somewhere that apparently Jon Favreau said there's 2 years between, I think it was supposed to be the season 2 finale and where we pick up here today, okay? Which it would make sense seeing that our Mandalorians have sort of regrouped. They weren't in a great state when we left beforehand. Also, Bo-Katan has lost a lot of her support. Basically, she went back to try to lead everybody to go attack Mandalore and go back to Mandalore. But it seems like from that last scene, that has all failed and the Mandalorians have scattered again. And so, with that, it does suggest it has been at least a year or two from the end of season 2. So I think we have to keep that in account. And also, just Navarro and the growth that it's shown tends to show that it's probably been at least a couple years. Now, as for the actual episode, I really enjoyed it, okay? Nothing to complain about. It was sort of a let's get started again type episode. Let's get Baby Yoda in there. Let's get the Mandalorian in there. Let's get it sort of go through and housekeeping. Okay, so we learned where a lot of characters were. Cara Dune, what happened to her, and so we are basically getting into the situation here. I love that opening where we got to actually see the ceremony that these kids go through to become Mandalorians. And I thought that was pretty awesome. The kid getting his helmet. And that alligator crocodile dinosaur thing was absolutely awesome. It was terrifying looking and tough. And you sort of got the feeling as they were battling that something was going to have to happen. And then, of course, we hear the music and here comes the Mandalorian and he's going to turn around and fires the killing shots. And so he is actually helping them, saving them. And that sort of makes me think back to what was it, season 1, when he was in trouble and all the Mandos came and saved him. And so that's sort of like, repaying a debt. Then we go into the cave with him talking to the armorer. I love the armorer. And with that, she basically does confirm that if there are still wells that he can bathe in, that he could regain his honor. And he leaves at that. We move on and see the space wells, which I think, as I said, are very important for later. He heads to Navarro. And of course, we get to see Grief Karga. Love Carl Weathers' character and glad to see he's doing well. And basically, we find out that Mando is there in order to get the IG unit that self-destructed. He feels like he trusts him. He wants him to go back with him to Mandalore, but with that, he's in a situation, the IG's in pieces, and he's actually a statue now on Navarro. And so they actually end up heading out after a conflict with some pirates, heading out and finding, basically, I'm guessing that's Babu Freak and some other of his people who are going to work on the IG unit and figure out that it needs some parts. So Mando leaves, and with that, we have a situation here where he heads to talk to Bo-Katan. Things have not gone well for Bo-Katan, and I'm wondering if we're going to get to eventually see Bo-Katan and Mando fight over the Darksaber. I think that might be what things end up coming down to at some point. Now, with all that being said, I really enjoyed this episode, but I'm going to give it just a B+ because it's sort of a filler episode, and we'll see what happens next week. I'm assuming we are going to be heading to find some parts, and so let's all be extremely happy that The Mandalorian is back, that Grogu is back, and we're back to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau running the Star Wars universe with The Mandalorian. So, with that, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and comment below, and I'll see you next time on the Fandom Realm.